Leather Rokk here. Welcome to my channel. I was trying to think of a subject to film for today. My posting is going to be the same day I'm shooting because I'm actually filming on what is supposed to be my posting day. And I couldn't help but notice that my last couple of makeup videos really didn't do too well. So I wanted to talk about something that I hope does not harm my channel or my brand when I bring this up. Because today's subject is going to be that about politics. Now, if you've been following my channel at all, maybe you know that I've been packing for a trip, and I deliberately did not say the nature of the trip that I was packing for. The reason why I'm packing for this 3-day vacation, long weekend, is I'm headed to Washington, D.C. for the WalkAway March. And the WalkAway March is mostly for people who used to be Democrats who switched to the Republican Party. Many of these people are people who were turned off by certain leftist things that have been going on, especially the Antifa violence and some of the violence that are going on in protests and some of the propaganda on campaigns and stuff. Well, I actually did my walk away shortly after 9/11, so I'm not really new to the GOP. That said, I thought that one of the main things that I would have in common with these walk-away people is, since we used to be Democrats, Greens, whatever, most of us, I would think, would be much more socially liberal. I am a social liberal. I am pro-marijuana, and I don't mean just medical. Smoke them if you got them. I am pro-choice. I am pro-LGBT equality, including marriage equality, including rights of trans people to use their bathrooms and be treated with the respect and using the pronouns that they prefer. I'm all for those things. I believe in live and let live, which would probably make me a little bit closer to libertarian. But that said, I've really been looking forward to this trip. I'm still packing for it. And as I'm talking to my fellow walk-away people, I'm finding out that so many of them tend to be social conservatives, and it seems like I'm finding such a hard time trying to find other pro-choice people. Now, I still supported Brett Kavanaugh, and I really did believe that Blasey Ford professor was lying. I'm sure maybe she did experience some kind of trauma, but I believe she got the wrong person. And as terrible as it is to be a victim of a crime, it is worse to falsely accuse somebody who did not do anything wrong. And that, I think, is absolutely abominable, what poor Brett Kavanaugh and his family was put through. I am no stranger to domestic violence or other traumas that women sometimes fall under. And I could tell you, as terrible as the trauma was, it would be infinitely worse to falsely accuse an innocent person. So I'm glad Brett Kavanaugh got safely on the Supreme Court. But, see, I really did not want to get political on my channel. I have only a few political videos. I hope I'm not totally risking my brand and my channel in doing this. I got to get this stuff off my chest. I really want to go to Washington, D.C., but if all I'm going to be doing is arguing with people over abortion, I mean, this makes me almost feel more kinship to the women in the march. They had the pussy hats and all that, but almost all of them were blaming everything on Trump and just hated Republicans. And there's got to be room for middle ground here. There's got to be room for people who want to be part of a big movement and yet don't agree with all the social liberal kind of stuff. I'm sorry, but I am not going to feel okay and just be silent to the people who believe the woman has a right to autonomy, to her own health care, to if something happens that she gets raped, or if something happens that she gets pregnant and she's not supposed to have the option of abortion, and if she does consider such a thing, she's a murderer. So these people are basically saying that a grown woman or even a teenage girl, her life is not nearly as important and is valued as the potential growing life inside her. And they keep on saying, oh, well, you don't have to be right opening your legs, and, you can just not have sex. As if sex is always consensual. As if most women can even fend off a stronger man. I mean, I don't know of a single person who's ever had an abortion who ever thought, oh, gee, I get to abort a fetus today. It's not like that. It's never an easy decision for anybody who's ever had to go through it. And for so many people, and so many of them are women, who are just so hateful about this and trying to, you wonder why there's a stigma against people who are even contemplating choice. Now, a couple of days ago, I was in Philadelphia for the Outfest, which is a annual LGBT block party, and I forgot about it last year, but I went this year, and a lot of the booths actually were booths devoted to reproductive freedom and women's issues. And Planned Parenthood people were there, NARAL was there, a lot of providers who I've never even heard of were there. Unfortunately, almost everybody was anti-Trump, anti-Republican, so I felt like I had to keep my politics in the closet, which I kind of resented, but I also, in today's climate where you have people like Maxine Waters who are actively encouraging people to harass Republicans, not just people who are working for candidates and politicians, but actually harassing people. And the higher profile you are, the more you're vulnerable to people who they might read something that you posted on social media, or they may have seen an interview that you did, or maybe they saw you walk someplace and you're wearing a political shirt. Then they can use that as an excuse to promote acts of violence on people. I don't walk around with a big security detail, so I have to worry about that myself. And I don't think it's right to go and condone and encourage acts of violence on people. And the last time I was in Washington, D.C., I did see Antifa people there, because I was there for the Trump inauguration. I saw lots of things that I saw at the time, I wasn't sure what they were, but after I got home, I found out, oh, okay, the people with the black, whatever, do-rags or whatever on their faces, the handkerchiefs, that were smashing windows and sending Trump shirts on fire and committing different kinds of mayhem. You know, thankfully the bikers for Trump were there, but I am almost thinking of not going to Washington, D.C. if I'm not going to be getting along with my fellow Trumpers, because there are a whole lot of pro-choice people that are Republicans, and people who walked away from the left wing, the Democrat, Greens, whatever. That doesn't mean that they left all their social liberal views behind. I still smoke grass. I'm still believe in pot. I still feel the same way that I did even when I was 19 years old, except that I know now the value of small government. I know the importance of lower taxes. I certainly have always cared about our flag, and I've always cared about strong borders. But if we can't even get along with each other over such a divisive view as abortion, can I find anybody that I can get along with? I feel like I can think of maybe 10 people who are Republicans like myself that are also pro-choice. And I know there's got to be more of us. But if I'm going to think that I'm going to be alone, I'm either just not going to go to Washington, D.C., or I'm just going to hang out with my hippie friends. There's a park across from the White House, Lafayette Park. I'm just going to hang out at the Peace Vigil with my hippie friends. I'm going to smoke all the weed I can. Just believe me, pot is legal there. I have friends who live in Washington, D.C. It's easy enough for me to get there by bus. But if I'm going to have to worry about looking over my shoulder because somebody's not going to like my political shirt, or some of my fellow brethren and sisters aren't going to like the fact that I'm a social liberal, then that's going to be a problem, because I'm not going to change how I feel. I'm a feminist. There are all kinds of feminists. Now, I'm not a social justice warrior. I'm not an asshole about it. But there's got to be room in this movement for all of us. Okay, I hope I haven't totally lost all my subscribers and all my views on my honest admission here. Again, my name is Leathur Rokk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content, I'd love to have you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything. Till then, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.